Hi, Madeleine Lowry here, Nutritional Therapy Practitioner. In the last video, I was talking about allergy elimination techniques. And in this video, I want to talk more about the last one I mentioned, which is the neural retraining method that I teach for allergy and sensitivity elimination. So in this video, I wanted to talk about the second reason why neural retraining is so great. So the first reason, obviously, is that you can eliminate your allergies and sensitivities. And by this, I mean any substance that you're allergic to or have an intolerance for, whether it be food, chemicals, medications, medical or dental materials, anesthesia, antibiotics, right? Or whether that's some kind of environmental irritant, pet hair, dander, pollen, anything in the environment. So the first reason to eliminate your allergies and your sensitivities, of course, is to resolve those symptoms that arise when you are exposed to those things. And so neural retraining does this by retraining that limbic system to reestablish tolerance for those allergens and irritants that you've become intolerant to, right? Your threshold for tolerance is gone. And the neural retraining technique gradually builds that back up so that you can reestablish tolerance for all of those classes of things. If you're someone like me that has multiple allergies and sensitivities to multiple things, chemical, food, medical, or environmental irritants. But the other reason to learn these techniques is that I have seen that it really improves the baseline level of health. So let's talk about why this is. So if you're that person like me that's predisposed to developing allergies and sensitivities, it's an indication that you have a hyperactive limbic system, right? The limbic system is that part of the brain that monitors all sensory data, all the sensory input that we get from our environment, internal, external. And it decides at any given moment if we're safe or if we're in danger. And when it detects a threat, whether it be pollen or a tiger in the bushes or whatever that may be in our modern lives, it's too many things, right? Being stuck in traffic or financial issue or a deadline at work or stress, other kinds of stress, familial stress, relationship stresses, it sets off a little alarm. The amygdala is like a little alarm bell, and it calls for the fight or flight response. And the fight or flight response causes stress hormones to be flooded throughout the body and puts us into this mode, what we call the sympathetic mode of the autonomic nervous system. So there are really there are three, but let's simplify it. For the purposes of this discussion, we'll just say that there are two modes of the autonomic nervous system, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. The parasympathetic is also known as the rest, digest, and heal mode of the autonomic nervous system. So every time we're triggered by an allergen or a sensitivity, we are put into that fight or flight response. And the reason this is bad is that all healing and all restorative functions of the body happen in the the parasympathetic mode, rest, digest, and heal mode of the autonomic nervous system. So every time our body senses a threat and rings the alarm bell, we then put all the housekeeping functions of the body on hold. So they go on the back burner until this emergency is taken care of. And so things like digestion, we see immune system dysregulation, we see hormonal imbalances, right? We see lack of uptake of nutrients, we see lack of detoxification, right? Detoxification from the system. So many things are disrupted or interrupted, or many processes don't even get started because we're constantly getting triggered to be in this fight or flight mode. the problem here is that even though you may think you have a good handle on what you're allergic or intolerant to, the list is probably longer than you think. And so for this reason, if you are that person with multiple allergies and sensitivities, it is really worth your while to retrain the brain to tolerance for them, so that you aren't getting triggered by allergens and irritants in the environment constantly, and being kept in this fight or flight response with tons of stress hormone, coursing through the body. Because lots of stress hormones, the release of stress hormones on an ongoing basis causes inflammation, systemic inflammation. We know this, and we know that inflammation is the cause of many disease states. But even on top of that, the inability to really have the body focus on those restorative bodily functions and things like digestion and hormonal balance and things I talked about, the homeostatic, just restorative healing functions of the body, starts to take its toll after a while. And so many of the clients that I work with do come to see me primarily because of allergies and sensitivities, but along the course of getting to know them, we start to realize that there are other chronic health issues that have sort of increased over the years. And the reason for that is, likely to be tied to the fact that they're, being triggered and not spending any time in the healing mode. So by resolving the allergies and sensitivities, not only are they able to overcome those symptoms that go along with the allergies and sensitivities, but they are also able to be in rest, digest, and heal more for a greater part of each day, right? And so that means that all these projects that got put on the back burner are now the body has the resources to deal with them. And this is like lifting a huge burden, right, off of the systems of the body. And then, we see that gradually, health can be, the baseline level of health is also improved. So that's what I wanted to express, is that, neural retraining really helps on two levels, not just the allergies, but also your baseline level of health. And it's can be really effective for people with multiple chemical, food, environmental, or medical sensitivities or allergies. So if you're interested, please reach out. I enjoy teaching this technique. I teach it in workshops. I teach it one-on-one in office visits, and I can also teach it over Zoom video conference. So really, distance is no barrier. Thanks for listening.